Hi there and welcome to Tall Guy Rides. In today's video, we are going to talk about the Honda Transalp 750 and what it is like to ride and some of the other details around the bike. So if that's something that you want to know better, well, keep watching. Thanks. I've always said in my social circles that the best bike for India, the best suited bike for India is an adventure tourer, parallel twin, about 400 to 600 cc in capacity, and something that is very reliable and doesn't have too high a cost of maintenance. And the Transalp 750 is almost right in that space. However, there is one bike that is a little bit better than the Honda Transalp in that sense, which is the CB500X. Unfortunately, it is a little bit too road biased in how it behaves and what the suspension setup is like. That's where the Honda Transalp kind of comes into its own. And let's talk further about what the bike is all about. I've been asked to talk about details about the motorcycles as well from some people, because I usually don't mention the key specs of the motorcycle. Well, some people have asked me to do it, so here goes. It has a 755 cc parallel twin engine that makes about 90.5 bhp at 9500 rpm, which is fairly high in the rev range for the bike. And it also makes 75 newton meters of torque at 7250 rpm. Again, slightly on the higher side for this particular bike. The bike weighs about 208 kilos curb weight, has a seat height of about 855 mm, which brings it in competition with the 390 Adventure, which has a seat height of 855. Or if you compare it to the Himalayan, the taller setting on the Himalayan is 845 mm, so 10 mm more than the higher setting on the Himalayan. And it also has a 17.9 liter fuel tank, which is almost the same as the Himalayan, which has a 17 liter fuel tank. And it has a top speed of 205 kilometers per hour, and it has a ground clearance of about 210 mm. I'm also going to talk about what it feels to ride like, but I've already ridden the bike, and let's have a quick look at the clip that I took while I was riding the bike in Mumbai. So now we are in Bombay riding the Honda Transalp, and behind me is Yash. Yash, say hi. Hi. Nice motorcycle. You feel like you're sitting inside the bike instead of on top of it, and it feels really nice and nimble compared to the Tiger. Also feels a little bit the seat height feels a little bit shorter. I think that's because the bike doesn't have the preload dialed in yet, and so it squats a little bit, quite a bit actually. But yes, twin cylinder, gear 3, 70 kilometers. You do feel a little bit of the vibes that are coming in, but enough of that. Left. Nice and peppy twin cylinder power. But let's get into what the channel is known for, which is ergonomics for tall riders. And in that sense, I am very happy, and I'm sure I'll take Yash's feedback as well. As a pillion, he is also 6+ in height, and weight also must be around 100 kilos. So we will take his feedback a little bit later, but for now, look at my arms. Nice reach to the handlebar. Arms are just a little bit bent, so very comfortable arm position. It's neither too high up, neither too far away, neither too close, because some bikes can get a bit too close. It's a really nice reach to the handlebars, optimal almost. And in that sense, let's talk about the handlebar itself and the mirrors. Mirrors are nice and wide, they give you a good view of what's behind, and very plush mirrors as well. It doesn't vibrate at all. Well, a little bit on the higher revs when the vibrations kick in from the bike. What's next? Next, let's talk about the seat. Nice and firm seat, good enough space for my butt. It's not a very small butt, but it's not a very big butt either. So nice and comfortable. The seat is on the firmer side, but that feels good. You feel nicely supported on the bike, and the seat towards the front is really narrow, nice and narrow. Your legs are able to go straight down to the ground, and I think that's one of the main reasons why the bike feels like the seat height is lower, where it's not actually too much lower. So the Tiger, the XCX, I think the higher seat height option that I usually own, usually put my seat on, is 865 mm, and the seat height on this bike, the Transalp 750, is 855. So just 10 mm, not much of a difference, but there was a much better bend in the knee when I was putting my foot down here as compared to the Tiger, and I think it is attributable very much to the seat design, how narrow it is towards the front. I'm not sure that if you can see it, but I will be putting some B-roll kind of videos of this. That is a narrow seat profile in the front. And also the tank is nice and narrow, where your feet are kind of going forward, and then it kind of flares up towards the front, that is towards towards the instrument cluster, which is nice and clean, pretty small in that sense. So, and it is a bit further away, so I think it could have been a little bit bigger in that sense, but you're able to read the speed and the RPM clearly, and your total average and stuff like that. But there is a lot of data that you can't really read very clearly, which is unfortunate. This is a premium segment bike. The instrument cluster could have been bigger, at least for me. It is a bit further away and it's a little bit difficult to read. Now we are done talking about the seat. Let's talk about the foot ergonomics, and very nice. Again, very few people talk about the distance between the foot pegs, the distance between the foot pegs and the seat. So that's the distance that kind of determines how acutely your knees are bent. And in this, the knees are bent just about, I think, 85 degrees. It's not a 90 degrees bend, but very comfortable. And the stock position of your gear lever, gear change lever, and your rear brake is also very nice and comfortable. So your ankle is almost again 90 degrees compared to your lower leg, that is your shin. So very comfortable, very nice. In fact, these angles are a little bit more acute when it comes to the Tiger. So I think when it comes to long distance riding, this bike will be much better in that sense, in terms of comfort, because your angles for your feet are very comfortable. Now, what else do we usually talk about? Well, we're done talking about the feet, the knees, the arms. in terms of that. I think this is very comfortable for taller riders. Even if you are about 6 feet, 7, 8, if you are much larger, in that sense I think it will still continue to be pretty comfortable as well. And for somebody who's shorter, I think it will be very comfortable too, because you're able to get your legs down so easily and flat foot on this bike. That is a really good element, which is something that is missing on the Tiger. That seat height is not very different on the Tiger, but it's a reach around to the ground, and in this it's like you just drop your foot and it goes straight down to the ground. So that's really nice. Okay, देखने वाला हूँ. So the standing ergonomics for somebody my height, I think requires a little bit more work. Of course, I have a fairly heavy pillion also behind me, so that did not give me so much confidence, but I think a pair of handlebar risers would help. Le lo? Yeah, as I was saying, ki handlebar risers would definitely help out a lot. But yes, I mean, I can see somebody my size standing up and riding this motorcycle fairly easily, and I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good actually. यहाँ पे ग्रीन बत्ती कहाँ है? कहीं पे सिग्नल तो दिख नहीं रहा था ना कि जाए या ना जाए. अच्छा, ओके. As you can see, the bike has no problems crawling in city conditions as well. I'm just letting go of the clutch and it maintains a speed of about 11 or 12 kilometers per hour. Now I'm just giving a little bit of gas because there is a bit of space, and this is on sports mode. I think for the city, standard is a little bit better. And the best thing about this bike is you can change modes on the fly. No need to release your accelerator and all of that. Just press the mode button and then keep pressing till you get to the mode that you want. And we are almost back at the service center. And with that, I think I've concluded most of the points that I wanted to make during the ride video itself. If there are any points that you would like me to answer from my perspective, well, do drop a comment, or you can simply ping me on Instagram. My ID is the same, Tall Guy Rides on Instagram, and probably I can answer your questions a little bit in detail over there. And yes, before I forget, let me talk about the pricing. So in terms of pricing, to book the bike, you have to do a down payment or a booking amount of rupees 1 lakh. After that, Honda will assign a consignment to you, where a, a certain number of bikes come together as a block, I think from Japan or wherever it is manufactured. And then it is a longish process in terms of taking a month or so. And the on-road price in Mumbai when I took the test ride was 13.85, so 13,85,000. And yeah, that is in terms of pricing. In terms of spares, very economical. I think the chain and sprocket kit comes for about 5,500, and the entire set of brakes, so 2 sets in front and 1 in the rear, or actually just let me look up. So basically the entire brake set comes in about 6,500 if I'm not mistaken. I'll just insert that as a subtitle upon verifying that. But very economical in the long run is what I think. Is the pricing justified? So 14 lakh rupees approximately, and then you will add some crash bars and stuff like that. So I feel that for a 750cc bike, uh, maybe around 12 and a half was more value for money, more justification for the motorcycle, because at 14 you probably can pick up a versus 1000 if you're looking for a adventure touring motorcycle. uh, the Honda Transalp is a parallel twin, whereas the versus 1000 is an inline four, so much smoother, much more refinement, a lot more power as well on that bike, and a lot more capacity in terms of long distance comfort, because it has a very nice large windscreen, good amount of fairing. You have road based tires and rims, so a lot more touring, road touring and sports touring, well, not sports touring but road touring focused, high performance on the road while touring. um, so in that space, Honda is usually more expensive than other brands, but I think in terms of maintenance, Honda is a little bit better in that space. And with that said, I don't really have much to share about the Honda Transalp apart from what has already been said. So drop your comments, I'll get to them. Ping me on Instagram, I will reply a little bit sooner over there. And well, thanks for watching. Cheers.